Good evening, everybody, or early morning. Well, the Tourmalet, the Greg LeMond, has a few upgrades. So what we did is we replaced those horrible brake cables and the brake cable housing. So now the modulation on these old brakes is beautiful. Just look at that. Super smooth. Both front and rear done. And those cables were so rusted. It was unbelievable how rusted, but it brought life back to those calipers. I really thought these old calipers were shot, but they weren't shot. There was just so much friction inside the cable housing, all the rust, all the water. I mean, remember, this is a steel bike, and that has nothing to do with the cables, but cables are steel. So over time, if you're not replacing them like every, 4 or 5 years, there's going to have a lot of rust and a lot of friction inside them. So I'm glad I was able to take care of that. The shifter cables are good. They've been replaced, but they're probably due for a replacement as well because the front shifter cable is really beat up. So I'm probably going to replace that tomorrow. I bought, road bike cables for the derailleurs as well as the brakes. I also have mountain bike cables. So I have everything I need. It's really nice after a long day at work to just come home and work on an old bike and make it look better and better and better. I am going to replace the tires. They're mismatched tires. The front tire is an old Forte, and you know where that's from. That's from the old performance bike shops. But it's a 28 millimeter, so it still has a little tread on it. Not much, but a little bit. And the back tire, I believe is a Schwalbe Laguna, it is a Schwalbe Laguna, but it absolutely has no tread on it at all. So probably time to replace those. So I'm gonna go black. I was thinking of a dark brown sidewall, but no, I'm gonna go just jet black. The rims are beautifully trued, and like I told you, the back wheel is really nice. The bike was originally an 8-speed on the rear end, but this one's a 10-speed on the rear end. So somebody really, really upgraded the rear end of this bicycle. And it shifts decent. It doesn't shift crisp or beautiful, but it shifts decent. And for a 20-plus year bike, I'm good with that. I'm really good with that. I still haven't had a chance to wax the bike down, but I'm going to do that tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be like close to 100 degrees. So I got to try to get everything done as soon as possible. It means I need to go to bed because it's very, very late now. And I just wanted you guys to see what I've done to the Tourmalet. Oh, and so you guys know what bike sold. The Felt. I sold it to a really nice young guy. I was very transparent about the big dent on the top tube. So what he's going to do is use the wheels the group said and put it on a frame he bought. So hopefully that all works out. But yeah, that bike sold, and we moved on to the LeMond. I almost had my hands on a second Tourmalet, but the frame was just way too big, and I decided against it. And the guy was really wishy-washy about the price point, but it had a seat clamp for the seat tube. Instead of a regular binder, it had a quick release on it. Had an old school seat post on it, a steel one. So either that seat tube is damaged or they just didn't know what the hell they were doing to the bike and they were just piecing it together. So maybe I got lucky and didn't get it. And it wasn't that cheap. It was going to be about $400. And for Tourmalet, the guy doesn't know the year. He didn't know the group set. I had him take all kinds of pictures, but he kept taking the pictures really far from the bike. So obviously he was hiding something. I'm glad it didn't work out. I didn't get rude or mad. I just said, it's aftermarket or what should I say, used bikes. They're just like used cars. You got to be careful what you're getting. Ask a lot of questions. Test ride the bike. I've had some lemons, of course, but then, my lemons cost me $50. But if I had spent $400 or $500 and that seat tube was busted, I would have lost all my money. So I'm glad it didn't turn out getting this guy who sold me this bike. He was really honest. Hey, it's an old frame, Dave, but everything works good. You do have to upgrade cables, handlebar tape, saddles, stuff like that, grease it up again. And I'm glad I bought this one. It came with original red look pedals, the Arcs. They were expensive, but they were heavy as hell. I put my Shimano 105 carbons, half the weight cut off those. But anyways, guys, it's late. I want to go to bed. I just wanted to say, hey man, I really enjoy this. I hope you guys are enjoying the bikes, and I'm really enjoying this retro feel. Talk to y'all soon.